Welcome back, guys. It's the Friday after Bathurst Auto Fest. I've just tested positive for COVID, so I'm now in a 7-day isolation. So I thought perfect time to give you the rundown on how the car went, its condition after Bathurst, and a bit of cleaning up on it. So give you a bit of a rundown on that. So the car is very, very filthy. Has like coolant spots all over it, rubber all over it. It's just in a bad way at the moment. So this is all the rubber damage. All that white marks is pit marks straight down to the bare metal, so they won't be coming out. Bit of luck, all this black stuff will come out, just like it did on my ute, whereas it just left the pitting marks. I'm a little bit devo about, it's actually, I don't know if you can see, but it's actually dinted that a little bit, which I'm a little bit sad about, but it's, I guess, what you have when you got a burnout car. It's flicked the fuel cap off and snapped that, which isn't too bad, not hard to get another one of them. And possibly when I get a fuel cell, like close it off so it's so it's locked off from the inside in the hole there. That way it can't rip off, but still maintain that nice look of having the fuel flap. Rubber all down here, bent all this metal here. A little bit dangerous having the fuel tank there, right where all the rubber's coming off. So we'll have to make up a plate, which I seen on one of the cars there for that. It ripped off, just a little plastic bit that goes there. Go around to the other side. Pretty well same here. It's dented this side a lot more, which I'm pretty upset about, but like I said, it's a burnout car and it's bound to happen. Dented all this up. All the damage to the paint, pit marks all over it, rubber. Same plastic thing come off there. And because the brakes weren't very good, one of the wheels, the left end wheel, would lock up going down the straight, and heated the center cap up and popped it out. So I've put the back one on the front just so it maintain that look when the stockies are on. Under here, same again, filthy, a little bit of power steering oil popped out of there because it got a little bit hot. Coolant marks all over it, just needs cleaning really, all over. Coolant marks all over the guard. Inside's pretty well the same, just needs unpacking. So after it got hot on Friday, after the second skid, after Taya's burnout, my missus's burnout, it had a slight, like, didn't want to idle because it was hot. Just had playing up a little bit, but we got it back to the campsite and it was all fine after it cooled down. But then after Saturday's burnout, it started to develop a slight miss. So got in it and I was just driving it around and just go to do a little bit of a foot on, and there was a slight miss under load, but as soon as the revs picked up, it'd go. And it just wouldn't idle and just started running a bit like a pig. Not bad, like it still ran awesome, high in the revs, it loved it, just didn't want to idle and just, yeah, had that slight miss under load. So when I was doing the super sprints, I'd go to take off, put my foot flat, it'd like pop and carry on, until the revs got up a little bit, and then just perfect in the revs. No dramas at all. So that's our problem. We got to track down to see what that was, whether it was a hot coil or buggered one of the coils. I pulled the spark plugs out, I gapped them. A lead. The fuel pump was making a little bit of a high-pitched noise when it was priming, whether or not something in the tank was playing up, or whether the tune needs tweaking slightly. Yeah, so I'm not 100% sure about what went on there, but yeah. So I just got the Kero out. I can't really see the camera because of the glare on it, but I've wiped all the main bits of the rubber off on this side, and I've done the other side. All the other bits, little black bits, will have to polish out, but majority of it come off. Well, it looks heaps better. And yeah, I polished this section here. I haven't got the best polish here, so might have to wait till I get the good polish. Go borrow some of my dad's polish. But no, it's coming up alright. Little rubber, there's rubber, the whole car's gonna need a hand polish because there's little bits of rubber everywhere all over it, which is just smudged, especially over on this guard. I don't know if you can see it or not, but no, it's getting there. So there's a lot of rubber wrapped around here and wire and shit, which I'll have to get all that off. But that, I'm not sure if that's on the right, meant to be on the angle it's on. Looking at this side, that just goes, I don't know, it might just be me, but once I get all that shit off, we'll have a look. But I know the exhaust come loose. Yeah, there we go, it's blowing the gasket out and the bolt. Heat has melted the boot on there, and the same on this side. Oh shit, all over your hands now. So it's melted them. Doesn't appear to be any oil leaks, which is good. Bit darker, a little bit of oil in there. There was one leaking here. A little bit. Nothing dramatic at all. Front tyres have got rubber on them to the shit house. That kind of helped when I was trying to pull up at the end of the straight. All that caked on there. That's the only normal part there. All the rest is just caked on there. Oh, look at that, it's just from the burnout pad. Other than that, the springs have turned pink from the smoke. Up there's a little bit pink, but everything seems to be pretty good actually. I'm very happy with the minimal damage that has happened here at Bathurst, which is good. So that there is put all the rubber off on this side. I started polishing and it's just a pain in the ass doing it by hand, so I'll have to wait till I can get down of isolation and go down and get a new pad for the buffer. That one's pretty well screwed. And I'll have to get some polish because that's my dad's polish, so I don't waste all his and then run over the whole car, but that's as good as the blackness is going to get, which it still looks half decent. It's a burnout car, so just the pitting marks in it. So I've just done a bit of a test polish. This part here come up good. I used a cut and polish that I have over there, just an Armour Oil cheap one on it, just to get all the like black rubbery shit off, which worked really well. Then I went over it with the Auto Glim Super Resin Polish, which worked really well again. But on the bonnet, I don't know if you can see it, I'll get to see the coolant spot. So obviously from when it got hot and steamed up coolant all over it, the little spots in it. So I've polished this half of the bonnet. I used that cut and polish first and then tried going over it, and I'm not happy with it because it's, there we go, you can see spots, there we go, coolant spots all over it. So I was going to attempt to have a go at doing it without a machine, see if it would come up good, but not if I'm going to get that result with those coolant spots still in it. You can see them all over here still. So I want it to look good, so I don't want to... Oh, well, I could go over the rest of the car with it, but they're all over it, so it's going to be a waste of time. I'll just do it properly the first go. So it's another day now. I'm going to pull the fuel cell out, the fuel tank out, and see what's going on with it. But I'm going to cut all this stuff off first. So I just had all the fuel pump assembly out, all the module and stuff all out. Everything seemed to be good in there. I just pulled the fuel filter off, and I don't have another one and I can't get one because I'm on isolation. So I blew the one out. It seemed to be blocked. I'm not sure if there's meant to be any resistance through it, just by blowing with my mouth. I then got the air blower and blew it out. No shit seemed to come out, but it has freed it up. So I'll have to get a new one of them, and it'd be good to just blow on it with my mouth and see if there is a little bit of resistance with a new filter, whether I've blown that one out too much, or I'm not sure, but it's better than it was, so I'm going to put it all back in and give it a try. Thought I'd give you a bit of an update. I decided to put the headlight in the oven, pull the cover off it, and I now have this cover here that I'm going to paint black. This was just going to be a trial and error thing, but it looks like it's going to work, so I thought I'd film this one, and I'll film the other one in a bit more detail of what I've done. So this should, painting this, I've just got to tape up that section there, but painting this should nearly make it look like the SS headlights, which will be good. So, I don't have any adhesive stuff that you're meant to spray over that plastic, but you can get these headlights anywhere, so if I stuff them up, I'm going to do it properly with another set of headlights, or pull these out and do it properly again. So I've just got some primer stuff. It's not edge primer, but it's just base primer. And then I've just got some satin black. But I'll tape this up and I'll start painting. So I just had the oven on 100 degrees and had it in there for about 10 minutes. So it's hot, so I better race out to the shed and start pulling it apart. So on these there is 2 screws, 1, 2, and just clips the whole way around. So I'll set you up on a time lapse and I'll start pulling it apart. So that's the lens taken off that now. We don't touch this part, that part stays, except we'll give it a good clean out. So now we just gotta unscrew this chrome part from the lens. So that's the 2 there. That's the part we'll be painting, and we'll have to give that another bit of a polish up because it's pretty dirty. So I'll pull this lens bit off here, tape up inside there, scuff it back and chuck some paint over it. Got the undercoat on now. There's 2 light coats of primer, so I'll let that dry for an hour and I'll come back out and chuck some black on. So I've just put 2 coats of black on. I'm going to do a 3rd coat, but I'm just going to let that dry for about 5-10. I decided to put it back into the oven just so I can soften the elastic up and so I can push it back in properly. I didn't do it with the other one, but we'll see how we go with this one. So this headlight is done as well. If I recommend anyone at home do it, I recommend putting it back in the oven afterwards, because I haven't sealed this again. If it was a street car, I probably would do another lot of seal, but heating that back up has pulled it in itself, locked back in on its own locks, and I reckon it's going to be sealed enough. Because of all the old sealer there, it's softened it right up, pulled it in, and now it's just going to dry nice and perfectly. And that's a cheap way to make some SS headlights, and it really makes a difference. So I've just got my dad's old Gearbox cooler here, and I've just come up with a genius idea. So obviously I got the brackets there. I've got to mount this in there, which I'm going to mount it to this side, right in front of that fan so it can draw it through. But I'm going to leave that gearbox line on that coming out of the bottom of the gearbox cooler in the radiator. I'm going to pull this top line off here, going into the top of the gearbox radiator, gearbox cooler in the radiator. So that line there that I've got is going to come round. It's going to go into the top of this, and then I'm going to bring the bottom one out and bring it up and bring it into there. So then it will be running like a twin cooling system. So that should be good, I reckon. So I just got gearbox cooler mounted in. Now it's only mounted with self-tappers, but seems to be in there pretty solid. I just pulled the line off from the top over there, and I've added the adapter. I just got to put another clamp on that side, and then cut that hose a little bit and put a clamp on there. That's one hose on. Just have to run a cable tie. I don't know if you can see. Just around down there. It's hard to see, but just get the gist, just so it's nice and neat. And I'll start running this other line out, put the adapter about where my finger is here, just out a little bit, run it around and hook it into the top of that. Got the gearbox cooler all on now. I had a little bit more oil and I just started it up. It's a bit late-ish to start it, but yeah, I did just have it running and there's no leaks. I'm just hope that it's actually running oil through there and there's no blockages anywhere, which I don't think there would be. But the oil seemed right. Added a little bit more. And it's still saying it's over full by a little bit, so went through the gears and everything like that, but it just take a little bit to bleed right through. I just love how good this front bumper mounts up to the unmolested bumper. It just mounts up so good. Like the body line gap is perfect. So I've just been editing the video and it's long enough now and I didn't do an outro, so I'm gonna leave the video there. Give it a like, give it a subscribe, comment down below. I always love seeing people comment and replying to them, so keep up good work, and thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.